All right, I'm going to walk you through how to create a Canvas quiz if you've never done this before. So if you're not already there and if you haven't already tried, try going over to the Canvas main page. So for me, that's udel.instructure.com, and your course will come up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on a course. I'm going to use my intermediate heat transfer course as the example here. So I'll just click on my course. And so I have my course broken into modules. So like basically the whole course is sort of a set of, like you'll see that each one of these modules is basically like a page with some information and maybe a posted video followed by a Canvas quiz. So that's what this little rocket symbol here is. And so I call these learning checks. So for lumped capacitance method, I have a learning check that follows the first video. And I just sort of, the way that I do this is I personally just embed them right after the content that I want to test the student about as like little learning checks. I realize that some people here might be using this as an exam replacement option, but whatever your option is, basically you can embed these little Canvas quizzes that are automatically graded into Canvas either as inside modules, or you can just have them as standalone quizzes that are linked to your grade book. So basically the way you create a quiz is just by looking on the right hand side of your screen. You should see a tab that says quizzes somewhere. So mine is visible to me but not to my students. Like that's what the little eyeball with the cross symbol means. So on my left hand side I have a word that says quizzes here, which is a link to how to create quizzes. I think that it may be possible that some people wouldn't see this by default. If you don't see an option for quizzes, then go into your settings and check to see what your navigation bar looks like. So in the settings, there's a little tab here that says navigation, and you can drag and drop things to reorder them to your sidebar. So if quizzes don't appear over on your left-hand side, you might actually need to go down through the list of things that are not listed and drag this up into the items that actually show up in your course navigation. But I think it should show up by default. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go click on quizzes, and there are two ways to create quizzes. If you're not being too fancy, what I do is I literally just click the plus sign up here. So there's a plus sign for that says add quiz, and so that's what I'm going to click on right now, but I'll just show you that just to the right of that, you'll see this little dot, dot, dot up in the corner. For some advanced users or for people who are going to be doing a lot of this, you may think about creating what are called question banks to sort of categorize what your questions are and put them in particular categories. So a question is not a quiz. Those aren't the same thing, but like within a quiz, what you're going to do is add a whole bunch of questions. So, if you create a whole course, you might generate hundreds and hundreds of questions that would have to be embedded within quizzes. And so you'll see that it quickly becomes sort of helpful to categorize all of your quizzes, all of the questions that will go into your quizzes so that you can quickly locate them. So for a beginning user, I would not recommend doing that right away. You can always go back and organize your questions later. I personally often just create the questions as I go. I don't have some huge bank of quizzes sitting around, or questions. So anyway, I'm going to go into quiz and just show you the quick route to this. So we'll go to plus quiz, which will ask us to create a quiz. And that's how you actually create a quiz. When you get into the quiz, you'll have to set up both the questions that you're going to ask and some details about how you want the quiz to be graded, how many, essentially details about how the student is supposed to take the quiz and where the grades go and when they're supposed to take the quiz. So I'm going to walk you through that in a separate video right now. Let me just break this so that it's short in time.